So Pisces, this week from Lay Vampire, you pulled transmission, spreading of conditions, influence, and impact. And then from Chakra Wisdom, you pulled confusion. Now, transmission is one of my favorite cards. The blessing here says that you will have someone to travel with on the journey you are undertaking. There will be friendship, laughter, and the sharing of the experience. And then working with this card says, surround yourself with people and ideas that you wish to be influenced by. Create an amazing support network. This card is very much about somebody else that's wanting to share in the experience with you. There may be kind of a feeling here of, like, no, you just stay where you are. I've got to go through my thing. But this card is telling you that, you know, maybe you should invite these people in. I like it because it does speak of friendship, but it also says that there is somebody else that is wanting to share the experience with you. And then when you look at confusion from Chakra Wisdom, this card very much is about allowing yourself to be in a confused state. The inspiration says, through the willingness to be in confusion, we find clarity. There is nothing to solve. Meditation and quiet time will bring clarity. The personal question says, can I see confusion as a good thing? Can I learn to let go of needing an immediate outcome? Confusion for me is one of those cards where when we make decisions or we're about to make final decisions, we get in this state sometimes like we're wondering if we're doing the right thing. This card is basically saying that, you know, before you make any decisions, it's like Spirit is putting you in a state of confusion because it's going to allow clarity to come to you. And that clarity may be coming through from another person who is wanting to share the experience with you. All right, Pisces, here we go. Here's the energy coming through. The Six of Pentacles, the give and take, giving and receiving. What is it that you're receiving right now? The big thing too with the Six of Pentacles is, you know, for some of you, it may be money coming through, being of Pentacles, but I look at it as you're only going to get out of something what you put into it, right? There needs to be an equal give and take here. But for some of you, you may be receiving something. Oh boy, in the past, the Lovers. So, the Lovers as the past coming through can definitely suggest a relationship. Putting love first in your life. Seeing that with the Six of Pentacles, definitely wanting to receive love. And in the present, oh, you know, I've been trying to do these readings without having a glass of wine because I feel like I'm wasting my wine, because a lot of times I won't take a sip out of it, but there's some readings, man, I really wish I had it next to me. So the Queen of Wands in present conditions, for some of you, this is going to have to do with a fire sign. But generally, the Queen of Wands is somebody who has a lot of excitement and a lot of passion and a lot of energy. They're so fun to be around. They know how to manage situations. They have this enthusiastic view. They're the type of people who, you know, when you go to them with like emotional problems, they're like, hey, it's all right. You know, let's just move on and go on to the next thing, right? But fantastic, fantastic energy. And the Lovers, yeah, receiving love, possibly from another person. Oh, future conditions, Temperance, so Sag, right? But seeing Temperance there is beautiful, especially for you guys. And again, it's like with the Chariot, there's this balance that's happening with you internally. Temperance is patience, though, and moderation, and that balance between your thoughts and your emotions. And it's guidance. And for some of you, you know, again, this could be a fire sign, it could be Sag. Giving and receiving some information with this person, possibly having to do with love, and there's a need here for you to be patient in future conditions. And maybe get a little bit of control over your emotions involving this person. Your best path to follow. Wow. Wow, Pisces. Shit. The Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups is the best path to follow. When I'm looking at this card here, this is really about you needing to make that offering. For some of you, if you are interested in a person right now, it's going to be up to you to make that offering. But I think in future conditions, it's saying that there needs to be patience, right? I don't think that this is a situation where any of you need to like wait. I think that you're going to have to be the one to say something here. If you are interested in a person, for those of you who are in a relationship with somebody, it's important here for you to make sure that, you know, the love and the romance continues within the relationship with the Knight of Cups. Because the thing is here is, yeah, there's that offering, but talk is cheap, right? You have to look for actions here. And the other thing too is with Pisces, when it comes to following your heart, you know, be careful about being led astray too. But I think that, you know, looking at this is fantastic. And again, transmission, there's, you know, the spreading of conditions, somebody wanting to experience possibly love with you and you them. I mean, it's equal with the Six of Pentacles, especially with Temperance being there too. But I do think that it's going to be up to you. You're going to have to say something in your environment. Wow. In your environment, the Queen of Swords. Now you got two going on here, right? Now, when you're looking at it internally with this being in your environment, and even with the Queen of Wands, right? Beautiful internal energy, beautiful. The Queen of Swords, though, you know, she's a little bit different for me than the King. I mean, critical thinking is definitely a big part of that, but this is somebody, you know, like I've always said with her, she will kick your ass if you cross her, right? But, you know, for some of you, I'm looking at this and I'm seeing these two different energies, you know, this passion and this critical thinking, this smart thinking, being sharp, right? And clearly communicating. But, you know, for some of you, this give and take may be with somebody who's had quite a bit of pain in their past, because that's the other thing with the Queen of Swords. And then the other part of it too is I get this feeling here that with her showing up in your environment, for some of you, you know, because she is looked at as the single woman, the divorced woman, right? This is somebody who is on their own. There's strength and independence here. For some of you, there may be a feeling of, you know, that there's that energy of being alone, being single, being strong and independent, but there's like a need here for some give and take of love, and it may be with another person. For some of you, you may have two people around you right now that you're thinking about making an offering to. You know, on the other hand, too, for some of you, if you're dealing with an offering with somebody else, there's a need for you to be, you know, patient with the energy that's unfolding. And again, there's a need to be careful about being led astray, right? Especially with the energy of the Queen of Wands, because, you know, male or female, this person is going to be like very passionate. But I get the sense here that there's like a conflict going on between you. It's almost like there's a need here for you to follow your heart when it comes to love and romance with the Knight of Cups, but there's like, you know, there needs to be balance between, you know, the love that you're wanting and the way that you're feeling as far as, you know, being on your own. And for some of you, this could definitely suggest you needing to be a little bit patient and maybe a little bit more loving and a little bit more fair with the give and take when it comes to love with a person, because I'm really feeling this as you, right? And again, though, for some of you, it could definitely be two different people that you're dealing with, but I don't know, I get this strong sense here that, you know, a lot of you may be comfortable with being on your own, but there's still a need here for some equal give and take when it comes to love in your life. And maybe there is a need here for a little bit of love and romance too. Your hopes and your fears. Wow, the Six of Wands being recognized. I think for some of you, you know, the Six of Wands, victory, right? Victory over adversity. You know, being applauded for a job well done. It's short-lived here, but when I'm looking at it with what's going on here, it's like either you're wanting to be recognized by somebody or somebody is recognizing you and giving you attention. You know, but again, this may be something that you're wanting to Oh yeah, Pisces. Wow. What? The Page of Cups, I'm telling you, I think that, I mean, you know, there's two sides to this. I really do think that for a lot of you, though, you know, if you're hoping to be recognized by somebody, I think instead of hoping for that, maybe it's time for you to start speaking up about the way that you feel. The Page of Cups is the messenger. The Knight of Cups, again, it's another messenger. The Knights and the Pages are, but, you know, I'm looking at this as the action that you need to take. But then, you know, if you're wanting to experience a new, like, emotional feeling here with the Page of Cups, I really do think that for some of you, you're going to have to be the ones to speak up. Now, on the other side of it, though, some of you may be receiving the message as well. I mean, it goes both ways here with the Six of Wands, because there's a feeling of you wanting to be recognized, or that the person is actually recognizing you, but, you know, needing to have that feeling, that loving feeling vocalized, you know, which again goes back to the Queen of Swords, needing to communicate this. I very much get the sense here that a lot of you are pulling the Lovers as a past coming through. I mean, yeah, you know, when you're looking at air signs, it could be a Gemini, right? For some of you, it may be a Sag, or it may be both. Maybe some of you are dealing with, you know, two different relationships and needing some balance. But I do think that some of you, I get a stronger feeling here that Queen of Swords is the energy that is surrounding you in your environment right now. Some of you may be so used to being single, but you're wanting love, but it's like there needs to be an even give and take here. But I think that if you're wanting to experience this, instead of waiting for somebody to recognize you, it's going to be up to you to say something. And I think Temperance is saying to just be patient. Be patient with yourself, but also be patient with the messages that may be being returned to you as well. Wow, Pisces, wow, you know? And I can understand why confusion is showing up, you know, but again, by allowing ourselves to be in that state for a minute, you know, it clears out that confusion when you have that time to just be in that state for a minute, and clarity starts to come to you when it comes to the actions that you may be thinking about taking here. It's like, if you make an offering, I think you're going to go back and you're going to be like, oh, what did I do, right? But it's not a bad thing. I don't see this as a bad thing at all. I just think that for a lot of you, there's going to need to be patience when it comes to the return of the message, right? All right, Pisces, we're going to take a look at the soul trees to see what else is going on for you guys. I like this reading. I like that the Knight of Cups is in your best path to follow. I get kind of iffy when I see that card sometimes, but seeing the Page of Cups with it and the Lovers, definitely a love situation and a need for some clear communication. Purpose and new path emerging, hell yeah. With the Page of Cups, absolutely. Purpose, finding your purpose. What is your purpose, right? What is it that you believe in? And I think for a lot of you, it's needing to believe in yourself and believe that you do have purpose. There's a reason why these things are happening, right? There is a purpose to this. And it's so that a new path can unfold in front of you. Beautiful. It's beautiful. All right, Pisces, we're going to take a look at treasure your loved ones. Sorry about that, Pisces. I have a really bad habit with my battery. Now, treasure your loved ones. It's important to love others deeply. Speak the language of love. Loving words have the power to change someone's life, including your own. And again, there's a need here for you to communicate how you're feeling. Be in the present and dream of the future. When we dream, everything is possible. And then be willing to express love. When we express love, we begin to receive more love. Beautiful, beautiful messages for Pisces. I think that this week it's going to be important for some of you to start speaking about how you feel, right? And for those of you who are in a relationship, you're looking at a beautiful time right now with your partner. I do think that there may have been some difficulties looking at the Queen of Swords in the environment, but I don't think it's anything bad at all. I just think that there needs to be clear communication when it comes to the love that you feel for each other. And transmission, you know, definitely don't shove anybody out that's wanting to share the experience with you.
All right, Pisces, so I really like this reading. I think it's cute. I have this feeling here that there is new emotional experiences happening for a lot of you. Seeing the Lovers as the past coming through and then looking at the Queen of Wands, definitely this could have to do with a person. For those of you who are in a relationship, this looks absolutely fantastic. For those of you who are interested in somebody right now, I think that there's two different things going on. There is a need here for you to clearly speak about it. Looking at the Knight and the Page of Cups, I really do think that it's time for you to start talking about your emotions towards another. I think that you shouldn't be waiting for them to recognize you. And the reason why I say that is because of the Knight of Cups being in your best path to follow. This really is saying that now it's time for you to make the offering. But I do think that with Temperance coming through and then seeing it connect with the Page, I do think that some of you need to have patience when it comes to that return. Because I see it as both. Not only are you sending out the message, but I think it's going to be returned to you as well. But there needs to be you making the initial offering, I think. And I think it's important for you to follow your heart. Now, for some of you, though, looking at the Queen of Swords in your environment, yes, this could definitely have to do with another person. There could be two people. And there's a need here for you to get out of this state of confusion, right? And make the offering to somebody that you have a connection with. But I think with the Six of Pentacles, when you're looking at the give and take, I think that for some of you, you've become comfortable being on your own, being single. But at the same time, there's like a little bit of need for give and take when it comes to love because of the Lovers coming through. I just think that it's important for some of you that if you're feeling something right now, for you to voice that. And clearly, you know, be willing to express your love and then speak the language of love coming up. I really do think that it's important for you to communicate that. And that definitely goes back to the Queen of Swords as well. Now, when you're looking at the soul trees, believing in yourself and believing that you have a purpose, and, you know, that purpose could be you needing to express your feelings. Right? Because there is a new path emerging for you. And this could be on the creative end as well, looking at the Page of Cups. But, you know, seeing what's coming out here, I really do think that it has to do with your emotions and the way that you're feeling in regards to love and the person that you're interested in. Now, when you look at transmission, again, people, it's a person, right? I would caution some of you to be careful with looking at the Queen of Swords in your environment. Don't push somebody away if they're wanting to share an experience with you, right? I kind of get the feeling here that some of you are so used to doing things in a set way that you may push somebody out. Transmission is saying that, you know, this person is wanting to have that experience with you. Overall, though, I don't think that anything bad is happening. I just think that you need to have patience when it comes to the messages regarding love. And, of course, it's important to treasure your loved ones. And then, you know, when it comes to being in the present moment, that is so important. You want to dream of what is going to happen in the future, but, you know, again, with the moon showing up, you don't want to get caught in illusions either. But I do think that you visualizing what this is going to look like in the end is what's going to be important, but you need to be present as well. But I think it's a beautiful reading, Pisces. I just think that some of you need to start speaking about how you're feeling.